Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm excited. It's a Friday. We've got a guest coming up later in the program. It's the final day of June. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Mark O'Connell is who we're going to talk to. The Close Encounters Man. I can't read my handwriting. I thought it said the Lost Encountered Man. The Close Encounters Man. So it's a book about the guy who, like the Close Encounters, he coined that phrase. And then he was actually in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He was the guy that was walking towards the ship up on top of Devil's Tower. So I'm actually excited to chat with this dude. Also, I got a quote for you. Ready for this?
Ready.
Running a startup is like eating glass. You just start to like the taste of your own blood. Sean Parker. So, how do you feel, Heidi? Do you like the taste of your own blood?
Not at all.
I don't know if that's quite the same thing, but that's what they say. Coming your way in a bit, we have some special things going on today. We'll tell you about that after this.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It is Friday. It is June the 30th. Today is Social Media Day. So if you're not on social media, today could be a good day to go on and check it out. It's free to get on there. You know that, right? It doesn't cost you nothing. What are you holding out for? What are you waiting for? Today could be the day. It's Leap Second Time Adjustment Day today, so don't forget to set your clocks 1 second off. It's also National Meteor Watch Day, and it's Now Day. That stands for National Organization for Women Day. So it's a big day. A lot of stuff going on today. Of all of those things, I am not going to change my clock. And if it's off by a second, I'll just have to get used to it.
I didn't know that there was a second leap day.
Yeah, today is Leap Second Adjustment Day. So you're supposed to adjust your clock. Everybody adjusts their clock by 1 second.
Okay.
I don't even adjust my clock by 1 hour when it's time to do
that.
I
mean, ours was off for the entire time.
It was
until
like 6 months, and I'm like, hey, our clocks are all
until it
right
changed
again. All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Around here, we're not huge fans of cricket, are we? It's not a thing we play.
No, it's not really
a thing we do. You don't hear a lot about cricket clubs and what. But in Europe, they're kind of into cricket. Jim Young, he's a big fan of cricket. So much so that he played through a heart attack. Yeah. Jim Young was having a great game with his cricket team from West Mill Village. Then he went and had a heart attack right in the middle of the game. So what did he do? Get, taken to the hospital? No. Drank a glass of water, went back out, and scored 4 more points. After the match, a teammate got him an ambulance, and he was taken straight to the hospital.
Good Lord.
Doctors confirmed that, yes, you did have a mild heart attack. He said, I was getting 6s and 4s and feeling really good. Then I got this pain in my chest, but it seemed like the right thing to carry on. Now I think of how stupid I was. It could have killed me. Worst part is, Heidi, their team lost anyway.
Oh, my gosh.
They didn't even win the game. This guy played through a heart attack. There are times that I wonder if I've ever had a heart attack. Because I remember one time, it was so dumb. We were moving from one office to another office, and our son was very young at the time, and he was trying to help me carry a sofa up the steps. And it was a really wide stairway.
You doing this.
And he was not able to do it. I said, here, just get out of the way. I said, I'll get it. And I kind of put the sofa on my back like a turtle, and I walked up the steps, and it was a sectional, and there were 3 pieces. So then I did that with 2 more pieces, and I got up there, and I laid on that sofa and huffed and puffed for about 45 minutes. And I may have had a heart attack that day. If not, I certainly had a brain freeze because I should not have done that.
No, you shouldn't have done that.
And I remember another time moving a giant file cabinet by myself, and they were like, so who helped you move it in here? I'm like, nobody. two big burly movers moving it out. They're like, really? You move this yourself? I'm like, yeah. I'm kind of an idiot. Sorry, I shouldn't do these things. Anyway, this guy had a heart attack, just kept on playing. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Sipping a beer after work is not that unusual, but maybe it's not the best idea if you're a bank robber and you just robbed a bank. Police in Florida say they caught a robber enjoying a cold one across the street from the bank he's charged with having just held up. Orange County, Florida is where this happened. The sheriff's commander there, Jeff Stonebreaker, says James Taylor, not the singer, by the way. I just want to make sure we clear his name. This James Taylor was just as cool as could be when deputies found him. Investigators say a witness saw Taylor change his clothing in a car and drive it across the street. The Orlando Sentinel reports Taylor was sitting at an outdoor table sipping a brewski when the law arrived. So he was going to sit there and watch them.
Watch the show.
From across the street and just hang out to see what happened.
I could see that.
And, you know, they say that with arsonists, too.
Yeah, that they send around and
quite
murderers.
Often,
and yeah, they'll be in the crowd.
photos of the crowd because a lot of time an arsonist will stick around to see their handiwork. And this guy robbed a bank and he was doing that, too. Because, kids, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. Today we have a bungling burglar, and it comes from Yokohama, Japan. Am I saying that right? Yokohama? Have you heard it said that way?
I believe so,
It's kind of fun to say. Anyway, a man there was threatening to blow up a bank branch of a major bank unless they put 30 million yen in his bank account. That translates to about $300,000 US. In order for the bank to be able to do this, they needed to get his account number, which he said, "Oh, I'll give you that." So they said, "Okay, we'll transfer it. Don't blow us up." They gave him the account number, which gave the police his name and his address. Needless to say, he never got the money, and he's not going to be able to use it for a long time because he's going to be locked up for many, many, many years. That is not very smart. If you're going to rob a bank and say, "Wire the money into my account," don't you think they're going to know who you are?
Yeah, it's not very smart.
They're going to be able to track that. That's just not smart. But that's why we call it our moment of duh. We have your scoop of the day on the way.
John and Heidi.
If you promised yourself you'd lose weight before you went to the beach, that's still within reach. Get some help from a cool pink drink. Try it free at pinkdrinkfree.com. This pink drink tastes great and can help you lose weight. 8 out of 10 Americans are overweight. If you're tired of being one of them, we'd love to help. People around the country are experiencing amazing results with this pink drink, and you can try it before you buy it at pinkdrinkfree.com. That's pinkdrinkfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your scoop of the day. The latest numbers show that in America, our pets are getting fatter, but interestingly, the pets are actually thinner in the states where the people are the fattest. So I think that's because
people are eating all the food.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no leftovers there. I'm pretty sure that's what the problem is. I don't share with our dogs, but you do, and Taylor does. And now I decided I'm going to start sharing with our dogs too.
But they're not fat.
No,
they're
our dogs are
super
scrawny.
Skinny.
Yeah, they're very skinny. But I finally said, you know what? I'm moving over to the dark side. I'm gonna do what you guys do. And have you noticed the dogs seem to like me a little more? They like come over near me now when I say their name. They think, "Oh, you got some food?" No, I don't. I just want to pet you. So come over here. Hey, the New York Times food department is not afraid to tackle real food like the all-American hot dog. The Times says only Welshire Farms, a brand sold only at Whole Food markets, and Hebrew National had what we considered a true and familiar hot dog profile. An identifiable beefy taste, a texture that is soft but not mealy, I don't know what that means, and noticeable juiciness and a thread of warm spice flavor. End quote. They're doing food reviews on hot dogs. I don't know. I love hot dogs, but I'm not snooty, and it's really hard for me to imagine doing a food review on a hot dog. I can really taste the lips, and that's all I'm going to say. I don't know what's in a hot dog. All I know is what I've been told, and if that's true, I certainly don't want to do a food review on it. New survey asked workers, what frustrates you the most about the people you work with? What do you think it is, Heidi?
I don't know.
Well, it's not the stuff you might think, like personal hygiene or loud talking or dumb jokes. Over half of us are frustrated by coworkers who just don't pull their own weight around the office, leaving me to pick up the slack. Didn't we just have a Dear John letter kind of about that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, somebody that was like skipping work and pretending to be sick, and they weren't really. So there you go. A new survey says they're not the only ones. Hey, you get those get-out-of-jail-free cards in Monopoly board game, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they don't work in real life.
No, of course they don't.
A Minnesota deputy arrested a man who was wanted on a felony warrant over the weekend, and the suspect pulled out a Monopoly card, get out of jail free.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
He's like, I'd like to redeem this. And they're like, yeah, you have a lot of redeeming to do.
That is awesome.
I'm going to start carrying one now, just in case, I ever get it. Because you never know, the right guy might let you out. They go, okay, that was pretty good. We're going to let you go. Are you a fan of Rob Lowe? I think you are, right?
Yes.
I was going to say, because now, who's the other one? There's a couple of the guys from the 80s. What's the other guy? The one that was Iron Man. What's his name? Not
Robert
Rob Lowe.
Downey Jr.
Yeah, and you like him too, right?
I do.
So, now which one do you like better, Rob Lowe or
Rob Lowe?
Rob Lowe? Okay.
Yeah.
What is it you like about Rob Lowe?
Oh,
Is he a cutie?
he's delicious.
Well, have you seen the thing called the Lowe Files? It's on
No.
A&E. There's... I think you're going to probably like this. Rob Lowe is starring in a new A&E reality show,
Okay.
The Lowe Files, along with his sons Matthew and John Owen. The show follows the Lowe boys across the country as they hunt down supernatural phenomena like aliens and ghosts.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, I've got a link to the trailer if you want to see that. It's at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. A&E, that's a big network. Yeah, that's where Duck Dynasty is. And not even kidding when I say this, we actually got a call at one point about doing a reality show on that channel.
We did.
I thought they were kidding us, but it was a real deal. I was like, what? Are you serious? I mean, have you seen what we do around here?
They interviewed us, and then they never called back.
I don't know why that is. We did a little video interview, and then we never heard from them again. We're like, oh, apparently I do have a face for radio. It is true what they say. All right. Coming up here in a bit, we've got a special guest, and then we've got more silliness on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
How long's it been since you've been on vacation?
Way too long.
Well, we're going to Punta Cana this November for a cool event called 80s in the Sand.
I'm so looking forward to just being able to relax during the day. All day, every day for 7 full days. And, as a bonus, get to hear some awesome music at night.
You can also meet some 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many more.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website again is 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us right now. We have on the line Mark O'Connell. He is the author of The Close Encounters Man. Mark, how you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are you, John?
Very good. Excited to chat with you here. Now, this book, first of all, how long have you been working on the book, Close Encounters Man?
Oh, just 5 years, that's all.
Just 5 years.
There was a lot of research involved, a lot of research, yeah.
Now, you coined the phrase "close encounters of the third kind." Is that right?
I did not, but the gentleman who whose life story I tell in the book, Dr. J. Allen Hynek, he coined the close encounters terminology, and he's directly inspired the Steven Spielberg movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Okay, there we go. Now I see that in here. So J. Allen Hynek, and that's who this is, and he's kind of the father of the modern UFO theory.
Yes, absolutely. That is a very good description of Dr. Hynek. He basically, during the course of his career, he made UFOs socially acceptable.
Now, how did you get to know Dr. Hynek, or how did all of that come together where you had a chance to learn this story?
Well, Dr. Hynek passed away in 1986, so unfortunately, I never had a chance to meet him or interview him. But he has a very long and very accomplished career, not just as a UFO investigator, but also as an astronomer. And so he has left behind a wealth of information about his scientific work and about his UFO work. Most of that information is in archives in the Chicago area. When I started working on the book, I was actually living in Chicago, and so I discovered that I had all of these fantastic resources all within a couple miles of where I lived. I had his professional files from his UFO work. I had his teaching files from Northwestern University, where he taught astronomy for many, many years. So it all just kind of came together. He, as I said, he left behind just a vast treasure trove of documentation, personal letters, contracts, scientific reports. And so I was able to use all that information to sort of piece by piece put his story together.
And this is a topic that there's a lot of interest in, this particular topic, and a lot of the reason for the interest kind of falls right back to this particular person, doesn't it?
Well, I would like to think so. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thesis of my book was, as I said, Dr. Hynek made UFOs socially acceptable. He fought for a long, long time. Most of his career, he fought to establish a scientific study of the UFO phenomenon. He got very tired of UFO witnesses being ridiculed by other scientists and by other professors and by the government, and it really rankled him because he knew these people. He got to know these people firsthand, and he knew that, yes, some of them were unreliable, but the vast majority of UFO witnesses he found were very reliable, very credible people. So yeah, he fought long and hard to sort of bring UFOs out of the shadows and into the forefront, and I think he's succeeded beyond his wildest dreams because, as you know, UFOs are everywhere in modern culture.
Absolutely. Now, one of the movies that brought them to the forefront would be the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and the thing that's interesting is Steven Spielberg and Dr. Hynek had quite a bit of conversations back and forth, had quite a few conversations, and even had a cameo at the end of the film. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun story. As I was going through Dr. Hynek's records of his UFO work, I came across a manila folder labeled Spielberg, and I thought, aha, this should be good. And it was. I flipped it open, and I found a letter that Dr. Hynek had written to Steven Spielberg in the mid-'70s saying, hey, I heard about this new movie you're making called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That title came from my book, so I think we should talk. It's this very awkward and embarrassed letter that Dr. Hynek sent to Spielberg. And then a few days later, Mr. Spielberg wrote back to Hynek and said, oh boy, this is a misunderstanding. Let's clear this up, and why don't you come out to L.A. and we'll talk about it. So they worked everything out, and it turns out that a whole lot of incidents in the movie were directly inspired by stories that Hynek had reported in his 1972 book called The UFO Experience. So what happened in the end was that Steven Spielberg actually hired Dr. Hynek to be his technical consultant on the film, and while Hynek was on set in Alabama when they were shooting the climactic scene at the end of the movie when all the UFOs appear at Devil's Tower, they shot a 6-second scene of Dr. Hynek. It's kind of a neat little moment. All these scientists are sort of backing away in awe at the sight of the huge alien mothership. And in this one shot, Dr. Hynek sort of walks purposefully forward through this crowd of scientists to get a better look at the mothership, and he sort of strokes his goatee and puts his pipe in his mouth and just sort of has this aha moment as he's looking at the mothership. It's kind of a neat moment in the movie. If you blink, you might miss it, but if you catch it, it's kind of a neat moment.
Well, now that you say that, I know exactly who that is. I remember watching that movie, and that's really cool. So if next time I watch it, I'll have to look for him for sure, but that's really cool. Now, the book that you have, it's available right now, The Close Encounters Man. Where can people find a copy of this, sir?
Well, it's at bookstores everywhere. It's been available on Amazon for a while now, and I've been hearing from friends all week that they're getting their copies very quickly from Amazon. It's in bookstores across the country. My brother in Boise, Idaho, has already sent me a photo of him standing at the local Barnes & Noble holding up a copy of my book.
Nice.
So it's getting out there. I think it's everywhere right now.
Again, visiting right now with Mark O'Connell. Now, in addition to the book that you have out right now, The Close Encounters Man, this is not the first time you've written something. I see that you've got some really cool things here as far as credits. An episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So you've gotten a chance to write in this field before. And then also your UFO blog, highstrangenessufo.com. Tell me a little bit about the blog and how you got started on that.
Well, as you pointed out, I do have a background in writing science fiction. I've always been fascinated with science and science fiction and space and spaceships and aliens and all that. And about 5 years ago, I was kind of looking for some new writing project to have fun with. and decided I should start blogging about UFOs because I thought, well, I can talk about UFOs, till the cows come home. So I just started writing this blog more or less just as a fun thing to do, and then kind of got really immersed in the whole current field of UFO study. And that's really what led me to writing the book because as I was looking around online one day for more material for the blog, I noticed that Dr. Hynek's UFO Study Foundation, the Center for UFO Studies, was actually still in existence in Chicago, close to where I lived. And I thought, aha, this will give me lots of stuff to write about in the blog. So I went and visited and got to know the scientific director there. And after a couple of visits, the subject of writing this book came up, and I jumped at the chance. I thought, oh, this sounds like a dream job for me. So that's how it all happened. The blog led to me getting in contact with Dr. Hynek's colleagues, and that led to me writing the book.
That is fascinating. Mark, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us today, sir.
Thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Again, Mark O'Connell is the gentleman we've been talking to. He is the author of The Close Encounters Man, and that book is available right now. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Would you like custom t-shirts for an event or sports team? We understand that usually the budget's not unlimited. We have full-color custom printed t-shirts for just $7 each. That's one of the best prices you'll find anywhere. No minimum orders, so you can print just one or print 1,000. The price is just $7 per shirt with a minimal setup fee per design. Make the memories of your next event last forever or help your team look amazing with a little help from CustomShirtInc.com. That's CustomShirtInc.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
An average pencil is capable of drawing a line 35 miles long. Yeah, not the way I do it. I break them so much. I press down too hard and I'm breaking off chunks of lead. I can draw one like 35 feet long maybe, but not 35 miles. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The city of Moscow has been around since 1147 a.m. No, just kidding. 1147, the year, not the time. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Wikipedia first went online in what year? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
I was there, 2001.
Okay.
You know how I know that's true? I looked on Wikipedia.
Okay.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Airports that are at higher altitudes require a longer airstrip due to lower air density. Never thought of that. And then our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
I'm going to ask if you remember this, because I know we've talked about it before. What product was the first product to have a barcode put on it?
I don't know.
Those little lines on the side with numbers under them?
Yeah, I know what
Wrigley's
a barcode is.
Gum was the first product to have a barcode. Wrigley's Gum. There you go. A couple of fun facts brought to you by pinkdrinkfree.com. Not just another diet, it's a way of life. pinkdrinkfree.com.
John and Heidi.
If you promised yourself you'd lose weight before you went to the beach, that's still within reach. Get some help from a cool pink drink. Try it free at pinkdrinkfree.com. This pink drink tastes great and can help you lose weight. 8 out of 10 Americans are overweight. If you're tired of being one of them, we'd love to help. People around the country are experiencing amazing results with this pink drink, and you can try it before you buy it at pinkdrinkfree.com. That's pinkdrinkfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Make yourself heart attack proof. That's what this headline says. Now, I don't know if you can really claim to be heart attack proof. It says you can eat to your heart's content with these items, and they're supposed to help you not have as many heart attacks.
Okay.
So what do you think is not on the list? Probably not bacon.
French fries.
Probably not donuts. We're going to tell you what's on the list here. Oranges. It says reduce blood pressure and cholesterol and heart failure by eating ample amounts of oranges.
I do like oranges.
Kale.
Yeah, kale's on every disgusting
We've
list.
never been able to do this properly
Yuck.
because we got some kale one time and they said, oh, you just like make this kale chips, and
It's
we burned it. It was so
disgusting.
bad. Our whole house stunk for like 3 weeks. Kale prevents atherosclerosis, and if you cook it the way we do, it also prevents the neighbors from coming over. Garlic reduces blood pressure
I
and
love
plaque.
garlic.
Yeah. Red wine.
Love red wine.
I know you do. It boosts HDL and reduces unwanted clotting. Dark chocolate
I like dark chocolate.
reduces blood pressure. Holy cow. You should have more dark chocolate.
I should.
Yeah, you don't really,
I should
as
have
much
more
as you
dark
like it.
chocolate and wine and garlic. So
There
that
you go.
means garlic bread,
No, just
chocolate,
garlic.
and wine. That's pretty much my current diet
It
anyway.
is not. I mean, I haven't seen you eating dark chocolate in a long time.
I don't buy it because nobody else likes it. Maybe I
Get it.
should, because then I'm
Get
the
it.
only one that eats it.
Do. Sardines, lower your
I'm
triglycerides
not
and
eating
raise
sardines.
HDL. Lentils, reduce blood pressure. Almonds, reduce LDL and fatal arrhythmias. And pomegranates, reduce arteriosclerosis. I'm probably saying all of this stuff wrong. I am not a doctor. I want to make sure I specify that.
I do
know
like most of the stuff
I probably
on that
fooled
list.
somebody. They thought, man, is John a doctor? No, I'm not a doctor. Anyway, there's some things that you're supposed to have if you like your heart.
John and Heidi.
I love watching TV shows and movies, but I hated seeing my monthly bill get higher and higher. All that money every month just to watch TV. Well, not anymore. We cut our cable. We were paying $185 a month for channels we didn't even watch. Now we pay for just the internet, and we save about $150 a month. And we still get to watch what we want, when we want, with no monthly fee. Learn how you can do this too at channelsurfertv.com. Watch the video there to learn how to watch movies and TV with no monthly fee. Do it today and save 50% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
How is this for love and compassion, Heidi? An English law firm had an employee of the firm commit suicide, and instead of sending his wife flowers or a sympathy card, they sent a bill.
Yeah, we talked about
we
this
talk
a
about
lot.
this?
This was a while ago, but yeah, we
The
did.
charges stem from settling his affairs at the office, the cost of visiting his home in order to determine why he hadn't shown up for work. Really? And
That's ridiculous.
The cost of telling his mother that her son had died. The English press said that they have since dropped the charges.
I would sure hope so.
Yeah, that is
It's the
just
most
wrong.
awful thing.
What do we have for billable hours on the dude that died from the office here?
Yeah.
I mean, oh, come on, people. There's got to be something better that you could be billing
And
somebody
why would it have
for.
been their responsibility to tell his
don't-
mother? I mean,
I don't
you
know.
would think his wife
Yeah.
or somebody. I mean,
Well,
maybe he wasn't married. You
No,
know, I don't know.
Didn't it say? Yeah, because it said instead of sending his wife flowers and a sympathy card, they sent her a bill.
Well, then
So-
why wouldn't she have told
I don't
his
know.
mother?
Well, maybe she didn't like Mother. I have no clue. Maybe she asked them to. And if she asked them to, then maybe you could bill them. I don't know. Moving right along. We're going to talk about video games on the way.
John and Heidi.
So here's the question, Heidi. Do video games really influence those who play them?
I believe they do.
Well, I think a lot of it depends on the person. And in this person, maybe they do. A suspect who led police on a high-speed chase through several towns told investigators he was, quote, afraid to go back to jail. He had become convinced that his skills at video games would help him outrun the law. Two girls were in the car with this man. They said they were terrified and yelled at him to stop before he finally slowed in order for them to jump out. Then he took off. Tyrone D. McMillan told police, I was crazy. I've been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto and NASCAR video games, and I thought I could get away from you guys. So there you go.
Idiot.
That didn't work out so hot for you. I have to admit, I do like playing the video games where you get to speed. That is a lot of fun. I usually don't win those games, though.
When have you ever played
It's
a
been a
video
long
game?
time. It's been
Like
a while.
1984? I don't
No,
think
it's
it
not been
counts
that
on
long.
the Atari.
No, that was at like a kid's video game, like in the mall or whatever. What do you call those? Arcade.
Arcade?
Do they even have those anymore?
Again, 1984.
Are they still around? It has been a while. But it was a car, like you sit in the car and it had the steering wheel and stuff. It was fun. Almost as fun as that one that you put a quarter in it. It's a horse and it rocks back and forth. That's a blast, but I broke it, so it's not so fun now. I didn't really break the horse, but I did play the car game, and it was fun. Coming up, we're going to talk about some other silly stuff that's on the way.
John and Heidi.
How long's it been since you've been on vacation?
Way too long.
Well, we're going to Punta Cana this November for a cool event called 80s in the Sand.
I'm so looking forward to just being able to relax during the day. All day, every day for 7 full days. And, as a bonus, get to hear some awesome music at night.
You can also meet some 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many more.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
That website again is 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. It says your tummy may have tolerated the Jell-O powder mixed with hot water better than solid foods, but don't use this elixir with your kids. Now, first of all, have you ever heard of this before? Having like Jell-O powder mixed with hot liquids to drink that? I've never heard of that.
Not to drink it.
Like
I
if
mean,
you're sick.
that's how you make Jell-O.
But they're saying to mix this if you're sick. anyway, they say you don't want to do this with kids. Fluids are important when you're sick, but that much sugar could dehydrate you. So apparently somebody was saying that you should drink liquid Jell-O.
Maybe they're saying don't give your kid Jell-O. I don't know.
Benjamin Krevesky, MD, MPH, Chief of Gastroenterology at Temple University Hospital. Have to take a breath after his title. That's a long title. What do all those letters stand for? MD, MPH. Medical doctor miles per hour? What? I don't think that can be right, can it? Chief of Gastroenterology? Anyway, he says a little sugar helps your body absorb fluids, but an excess amount of sugar will draw too much fluids into your bowels. He says things like Pedialyte are perfect. He says it has some sugar and electrolytes. Have your kids drink plenty of water and something like a Pedialyte until their urine is a pale yellow. When they're ready to try solid foods, gradually introduce bananas, applesauce, rice, and toast. Also what he calls the brat diet. Bananas. What were the other things?
Rice,
applesauce, and toast. There we go. See, they had them in a different order. Anyway, he says if they're getting worse and they can't tolerate liquids or still sick after a week, then you might want to see a doctor. So there you go. That was published in Men's Health. Exactly the way I read it, except for all those mistakes I made. Hey, you know what we have coming up?
What's that?
Some good news.
Awesome.
I love the good news. We get to that at the end of every program. And if you ever have some good news that you'd like to share, I'm always open to that. And then the neat thing is I reshare it on Facebook as well. So you find something cool and send it to me, and then I'll send it out to everybody. But we'll get to the good news coming up.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Always like to wrap things up around here with some good news, Heidi. And I've gotten some really fun comments lately about our good news, by the way.
Oh, good.
I've had people say, I always make sure I listen to the good news because it just puts a little pep in my step for the rest of my day. I think that's good.
Good.
So I'm glad to hear
You
that
had some
people
ridiculous good news the other day, and somebody called in to say they agreed with me.
Yeah, that was because there was a kid that called 911. It was funny. And I was so excited. The story was a positive story, but the kid was 9, and Heidi was like, 9? Of course he should call 911. He's 9. I thought he was like 3. So then I got a call from a lady. She said, I'm with Heidi on this. Every kid that's 9 should know how to dial 911. So, but this is a really good story. There's a dad that's biking across the country to honor his 20-year-old daughter, Abby, who died suddenly not too long ago. Donor centers contacted the people who received Abby's life-saving organs, and they reached out to see, hey, would you like to meet her dad? He's on this journey for her. Sadly, only one man responded.
I think that's really
But this
sad.
video and this post, if you look on our Facebook page, was their emotional meeting, and it made me cry. So many of these stories do, though.
Everything makes you cry.
Not everything. I didn't cry about the kid calling 911. But
Only because I was laughing at
pretty
you.
much. But this is just such a touching story, and it's so great because the dad says, she's alive. I heard her heart beating in his chest. She's alive, and he's alive because she's alive. And it's just such a cool story. And he's doing this, bike ride across the country. And I'm sad that more people didn't go out to see him.
Yeah. I mean, you would think if
You've
got
got
somebody
life.
saved you or helped you in some way, you could at least go and meet the man and shake his hand.
He's
but-
going across the country. He's not saying, hey, you want to come to me? No,
Right.
I'll come to you. So anyway, great story. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show if you want to check it out. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Friday.
Time now for the bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Can you believe it's almost July? Holy cow, this month is going so darn fast. Well, today's kind of a special day. It's Social Media Day, and I've got a social media person on the line here, an expert that can kind of tell us a little bit about social media. From Melissa Marketing, we have Melissa Jakubovic. How you doing, Melissa?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat with you. Found you guys online, and you got all kinds of fun stuff that you talk about for social media. So today's kind of a big day for social media folks, isn't it?
Well, Social Media Media Day is on June 30th, so it's coming up, but we are definitely gearing towards all the exciting things going on. We have a lot going on here, getting ready for June 30th. But yeah, it's a very big and exciting day for us.
So in honor of National Social Media Day, what should business owners do when they're putting a business page on social media?
Well, for one, you must be on social media as a business owner. It's an awesome platform to share stories. The reach is worldwide, obviously, and there's really a human connection there. People see your photos, they connect with your story, be it your experiences, your pictures, your day-to-day. You can really make people love you, just like you would follow the lives of the characters as people on a soap opera.
Yeah, and the thing that's neat is it doesn't cost a ton of money to be on social media. You can actually open an account for free, can't you?
Absolutely. All the accounts are free. The only thing that would cost money is your paid advertising, which I believe every business should have an advertising budget, and the majority, if not all of that money, should go into social media advertising.
Now, Facebook is the number one social media platform. Why is Facebook still king right now?
Well, social media is the pinnacle of business advertising, and Facebook is the pinnacle of social media. I have some statistics I'd love to share.
Yeah.
In the third quarter of 2016, Twitter brought in $545 million in ad revenue. That's amazing.
$540 million. That's pretty good.
But in the same quarter, Facebook brought in $6.8 billion in ad revenue.
That's
so
quite
that
a bit
might tell you
more.
A little bit about it.
Yeah, that's a lot more, isn't it?
There's 1.65 billion active users on Facebook, and any smart business owner realizes that they not only need to be on Facebook, but they also need to know what they're doing on Facebook, because it's just an amazing way to reach your ideal customer, and marketers report that it's critical or important to their business.
Absolutely. Now, you've got some tips that you're going to give us. What are your top 5 tips to make Facebook work better for my business?
Well, number one, you don't just want to stick any profile photo or cover photo up on your Facebook business page, because that's prime real estate right there, and there's just so much more to it. So you want to use those spaces wisely. That's really important. My second Facebook tip is that getting likes is really important, and of course you want to do that. But a lot of people think that paying to boost a post on social media is called social media advertising, and they're just dead wrong. In fact, it's a mistake to do that, and it's not the best use of your advertising dollars because it's not well targeted.
Yeah.
Number 3, if you are not using video to promote your business, you are definitely leaving money on the table. People watch Facebook Lives. Have you seen Facebook Lives?
Oh, yeah, I've even done some.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They're all over the place, and people watch them 3 times more than regular posts. So that alone is reason to give people a glimpse into your everyday and build a connection with them within your business.
Wow.
My 4th tip is that there is a huge misconception. People think that only certain types of businesses can use Facebook ads, or people have had bad experiences in the past with using Facebook ads. But if you have something to sell, Facebook ads will work for you. It's really just that simple. There's someone there to buy it. You have something to sell, so Facebook ads will work from you. But it's all in the matter of how you tailor and target your strategy on Facebook, and that's the most powerful way to connect with your ideal customer.
Very nice.
Yeah. And my fifth tip is that hiring a professional is the smartest way to move your business forward and scale quickly. Small business owners think that they need to know everything, and they usually do things all on their own. Entrepreneurs are pulling all-nighters. But really what happens, John, is that they end up wasting time and money, and they get extremely frustrated, and then this slows the growth of their business down tremendously. So I would say to all small business owners and entrepreneurs out there, you need to focus on your strengths and try not to be a jack of all trades. So hiring a professional is really the key there.
Absolutely. Again, visiting with Melissa Jakubovic. She is with Melissa Marketing. And you said you've got some success stories of people who've built pretty crazy big businesses with social media. Let's talk about some of that.
Gosh, there are so many. Some of my clients and many of my friends in my circle started out with nothing, and now they're having $10,000 days regularly with highly targeted Facebook ads and intricate back-end infrastructures and sales funnels. And this is not an anomaly. This is an everyday, normal result that a lot of businesses are seeing, especially this year with this kind of strategy on Facebook. They're marketing online courses, selling products, and creating passive income to make money while they sleep, and it really works.
So if somebody listening is saying, hey, I want to talk to this Melissa lady because she sounds like she's got it going on, how can people find you? Do they find you on social media?
Well, of course.
That was a trick question. I knew the answer was going to be yes.
Well, of course. You can find me on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Melissa Marketing. That's Melissa without the A. There is no A at the end of my name, so it's MELISS Marketing. But, of course, you can go to my website at melissmarketing.com and grab a free marketing guide that I have there called Finding Your Dream Customer. This is a perfect step one for any business, old or new, to get started with Facebook ads correctly. And when we were going through those tips, I went ahead and made some things for your listeners. And like I mentioned, you can go grab those too. So you can get my 5 top Facebook tips in more detail at melissmarketing.com/tips.
Very nice. I'll throw a link to that on our social media, believe it or not. Yeah, we use it here too.
Yeah, you do have it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So if you're not following us, folks, on social media, I encourage you to do so. Facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Thanks for listening on National Social Media Day.